Hello everyone, this is Louis, and in this video we're gonna be rigging this model. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I converted just a normal mesh with goat, and I deleted the geometry, so you can select by face, for example, and select everything, select every vertex, and then just press delete, and you have a blank a file with just the skeleton. And you can do this with any converter. I like to use goat, and I like that it has the skeleton, but you can use any converter and just delete do the same thing, and you can do the same process. The only thing is that when you convert back to mesh, you need to use the same converter, so don't mix different converters. So with the blank file, or just without geometry, you can just go import wavefront obj, and you can import any obj that you have. In this case, I separated into figure and attachment objs. But I imported them both, and as you can see, there's no weights. The skeleton, the geometry doesn't have any weights. And you can again select everything, select all the geometry, and you can try to position roughly at the midpoint. Just make sure like the skeleton is occupying the center of the model. And this is kind of like the ground, so you need to place it slightly above the ground, the geometry. Here might be too low, so I can go ahead and move it up a little bit, and I can deactivate the X and the Z axis and just move it. So yeah, this should be enough. If it still looks like it's sinking on the ground, you can move it up a little bit more, but you have to be careful not to look like it's floating. So yeah, I can. So you're mostly gonna be using the joints tab, but you're just gonna select by vertex here, select option, and you select the vertices that you want. You select the bone and you assign. And here you have down here you have two options, and you can choose 2 bones or even 3 bones to weight a group of vertices, and you just have to make sure they add up to 100. So this is basically just like a percentage. So yeah, assigning weights is really basic. Like really dense mesh is like the face here can be a bit more complicated, but it's not a really hard challenge. So so here I just use the left mouse button, and it's gonna focus around the middle, and if you press Ctrl, it's gonna move, it's gonna pan, and if you press Shift, it's gonna zoom. So I use a lot the Ctrl and Shift to pan and zoom. And you can do this in every in every viewer here. So you have this is the front viewer. This is, I believe, is the here called projection. So this is the left, and this is should be top. You can change it as necessary if you want. Here to zoom, press shift and use the mouse wheel is gonna help you out as well. So you're gonna be using shift and control a lot. Another useful thing, you can select, and if you right click you can go frame selection, and it's gonna zoom in your on your selection. So you can get like really close if you want, and then you can reset view or select or like frame all, and it's gonna view your fit your whole model in the viewer. So now that I covered this, I'm gonna press Ctrl A, which is gonna select everything. Try not to move anything, or if you move the skeleton, it's gonna break the model, and you're gonna have to basically merge merge the file with another file that has a skeleton. So yeah, Ctrl A is gonna select everything, and Ctrl H is gonna hide it. And I like to begin by hiding everything, and just kind of do it one by one, the groups, and I can do the comments as well. So if you go to the groups tab and select a group, and you can select comment, and you can add the comment here. You just need to write it, and I'm gonna teach you what to write. It's really simple, especially for a hero unit. You don't really have to worry about what groups you want to show up, the frequency of the groups. You don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff. So when you're selecting here, model, select vertex, you make little squares. So just left click and make a square and select the vertices you want. Go to joints. Here it's kind of intuitive. So R is the right side. So the right side of the model, the skeleton, so which is this one. And this is the left side of the model. So R is the right side, and left is the left side. And it's gonna basically tell you what kind of bone it is. So this is the R foot, so the right foot, and you can just click on a sign. You can go ahead and click here and locate the left foot and do it like that. Here I'm gonna do 50-50, so go bone R foot and bone R lower leg, and just go 50, and it should kind of update by itself. And here, once you select your weights, so your double weights, you can just go and assign. There's a fix button, but I don't know what it does. I don't know if you have vertices that do not go up to add up to 100, it's gonna fix it, perhaps. Makes sense. So here I'm gonna go one L foot, L lower leg, and here you can check how it looks with the bone colors, which are kind of helpful. So here I added, well, let me just add the comments. Just so you can select the name and press Ctrl C to copy, go to comment and copy it and backspace it so it doesn't have the number. I like to add a number to all my groups, just makes it, just helps out. Copy in the second line and add a 0 to the third line, and that's it. So it helps if so the second line is the group name and the first line is the comment. 0 is the frequency, or does it show up or not, or like, is it kind of hard to explain. If you put 1, it's gonna show up sometimes and sometimes not, so it's make sure it's 0 so it always shows up. So that's basically it, and press OK, and that's your comment done. The first line here, the comment, it can be anything, but I like to keep it the same name, and the group name, I just like to add the number. So here you can select and show, and it's gonna show the bound that is assigned, and you can select the vertices and go assign. So that kind of makes it easy when you have like overlapping geometry like this. So just go show and assign, and here it's gonna be just pure lower leg, and this is gonna be L lower leg. So it takes a little while to do, can be a bit tedious, but you get so used to doing it, kind of start doing it a bit more quickly. Here for the knee, you can see, you can start adding some double weights. So here I'm gonna keep like maybe 20% hard thigh. So this is the thigh bone. And here maybe do equal to 60. And you can test them later and see how it looks. So I'm just kind of experimenting. I'm not doing... You can just kind of fill it out a little bit. So close to the center, I add a bit more weight to the pelvis bone. So when it has like double weights, it's gonna follow that bone more than the other. So it's kind of, it's let's say the skeleton is moving the vertices, and the one that has more weight is gonna move more, and they're both gonna move them proportionally. And doing double weights, kind of making those percentages, is gonna help kind of smooth that kind of transition between bones. Can just show here just so I can copy and just move it to the left side. Yeah, and I'm gonna press show so I kind of repeat the same weights and just move the side. So to the front here, I can add more weight to the arc tie, and around the back, I think I can add more weight to the lower leg. might be a bit much, so just leave it at 10. So if you select the wrong vertices, you just kind of try to select it back. Here's the colors are gonna help you kind of see if you made a mistake or not. Set the comment. Yeah, just copy and paste. Here I'm gonna rename it and add the number. Again, I think that's how I like to organize it. At this point, there's a hero unit and you can just regroup. Let's say all the material figure you can regroup into one material, into one group, and then the attachments to another group. But I like to keep the separate groups just for this, to assign the weights more easily. But yeah, let's hide them. So the hands. Can also select everything and go to a single bone and then add the weights. Doesn't make a ton of difference. Here, well, I'm gonna select a few, like along this rough line here. It's good if your geometry kind of aligns, so it can becomes a bit easier. I'm gonna keep it maybe 40 so the hand has a bit more weight. Do the same thing here. If you need to, you can change the color of the bones. So there's a color button here if you want to change the color. So I can move the gloves up and do them first. I'll hide the hands and try to kind of copy the weights that you've already done. So it's likely that you're gonna miss a few of the vertices, but then I'll show you how to locate the unassigned vertices. So you can see here there's one unassigned. Here's also might be helpful to keep it smooth shaded so you can see the colors a bit better. So yeah, here so this one they can add some of the abs weight as well, maybe like 30. And here again I'm gonna try to copy. You might need to go back to the pants and just hide it just to so yeah, I might have to adjust the weights here, might be too high to the R tie, to the right tie. And here as well I made a mistake. So when I've so I try to keep the vertices that are around the same level with the same weights. That kind of helps with avoid clipping, but clipping is kind of difficult to kind of completely avoid. Here I can probably add maybe like 90 perhaps, or 80. I'm not sure. That's right, 80. I'm probably gonna have to modify here. let's see here. Maybe bring it out to 60. Maybe better. And do the pants as well. Again, let's do the comments as we go down. I still need to do the rest of the tunic, but I can do the group already, the comment already. So here I'm gonna assign to the torso, but probably a good idea to add these to the clavicle bone. I can find it. Here. So here this the right upper arm. I think like this might be okay. Maybe like 70 perhaps. So here I'm just gonna try to look at where the elbow is. Let's go back to just the tunic. So it's around here, I believe. So we can keep here and go to our elbow. It's good to not think about like single points, like this is the elbow, but like actual bones. So like this whole section here is the elbow bone, and this section is the like a bone in a actual person, and not the the joint nomenclature, and the kind of points might be a bit confusing. And let's leave it maybe 70. Let's go here 60. Let's go 80 around the elbow, and 70 for the rest. See if that kind of works out. And here probably 80 to the elbow. So the left upper arm is the same color as the torso, which if you're not using the clavicle bone can get a bit confusing. So it might be a good idea to change the color of the L upper arm. So green, probably not a good idea. Maybe just pink like the thigh bone, or like a light blue. Let's copy. So if you press shift, you can select two You can basically, if you go here, it makes it easier to see it. You can select these, press shift, and select another section. So that might make things a bit easier. I think this is 90. At this point, it's better to just change the weights here. I gave it a comment. This base obj is the head, so let me change the name to head 1. Here's kind of has way too many vertices here. It can be could have been improved, but I didn't really remove any. But you can also use the low poly mesh here, and should work fine. Let me get the eyes as well. Let me see the tunic roughly. Yeah. So these are kind of so grouped together that I have to do several selections like this. So is there like they might forget some vertices here, but don't worry too much about it. So for the tunic, I'm gonna make it move with the head a little. Maybe, yeah, just 20. So maybe fine. Maybe, yeah, it doesn't need to move a lot, I don't think. So I think it's almost done. Just need to do the attachments, which are easy, and then the coat, which I'll use the tunic to kind of copy it. So just the strap, you can also use the tunic as a guideline. Might forget a comment, which would be kind of annoying. It's possible. So yeah, the only requirement basically for you to have a working unit is that every group has a comment, and you have a primary active comment for the weapon, or and that you have every vertex has a weight. So that's it, really. You don't need to There's really not much more to it to have a working unit. Of course, if you have too many groups, that might be a problem. If you have too many vertices, that also can cause problems, make your unit not work. And of course, in the process, you can mess up, you can move the skeleton, you might kind of delete one of the joints. People do all sorts of crazy things on the with these with more like inside Milkshape or inside Blender. Here, let me do like 50-50 here. So this not, he's just gonna be holding the bow, he's not gonna be using it. So I can just assign to the hand. The sword you can assign to the weapon, I believe weapon 01. But usually I just assign it to the hand. And let me, so the comment, so this is not a working weapon. Usually you'd, for a bow unit, you'd give it the primary active and the sword the secondary active. So the sword, the comment needs to be primary active 0. And here just give the group name and again 0. I can go ahead and add the quote as well. And the comments should be done. So the code just kind of goes over the tunic, so you can basically just copy it. To be a bit careful here around the elbow. We are doing some more adjustments. Anytime you feel like you need to adjust the mesh a little, you can do it. Here I might just do 50-50 and see if it looks okay. And there's someone assigned here. Uh, so if you press Ctrl Shift H, it's gonna unhide everything. So I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna save it again. I'm gonna save as this time as barred 3. Can be barred final, let's say. One thing you can test already is you can go to animation, show skeleton, select options, go to joint, and rotate it and see how it looks. So yeah, I think I'm happy with this kind of bend. It's like not super sharp. So there's probably gonna be some clipping here, which you can adjust. some clipping here. Might want to try to improve that as well. I think I can modify the weights and save it, and it's gonna work. But in any case, there's the other save. So yeah, another thing that I didn't do is you can go here and let's go back to smooth shade. Go select unassigned, and it's gonna select all unassigned vertices, and you can move them just to see if you can locate any. So there isn't any, so since I did it kind of slowly, it doesn't have any. But if you, for example, I can select some here and unassign them. I don't know if it's possible to unassign. I can clear. Select vertex. I was in joints and go clear. So select unassign, and it's gonna select those. But they might be scattered all over the model. So, but if you move them, oh, there's actually some here that I didn't locate. So I think because I wasn't moving the z-axis, and there's one over here as well. So you can kind of locate them and press Ctrl Z to just put them back into place. So first let's fix this one. Here, I'm not sure which one is it. Maybe the tunic or... So here I can try to add a third weight. I think third weights work, if I'm not mistaken. And I can just increase it. Maybe try to get everyone to about a third. So yeah, I can do it the same thing with just the visible geometry. So yeah, it's over here. I think it's here. Oh yeah, let's also take a look here at the back. It's gonna be a bit tricky. So one thing you can do is go here, go to face and select by vertex. Select the front here. You can select even more and press Ctrl H and it's gonna hide them. And then go select vertex. Select these ones, go here to show. And let me erase to like 70. And you can even move them a little. So to kind of not have as much clipping. But yeah, clipping to some extent might be hard to avoid. And you can kind of get a lot more precise about the weights and kind of spend like a lot of time testing the different weights. So let's go select and assign again. And so there's still this one that I don't know. It's over here. I don't know which group it belongs to. Let me okay, so it's this. Okay, so it was just I think it's part of the belt, perhaps. So we can just copy this one and assign. Again, select and assign, move, can't really move anything. So just to be safe, you can select and assign and go like bone, pelvis, and assign, just so it's gonna probably show you a message. You have to select some vertices, so there are no vertices selected. Again, we can go to select joint, show skeleton and animation, and test it out. Test out the shoulder as well. So I might assign this top ones more to the clavicle. Yeah, it looks a bit better, as you can see. Here there's still some clipping, I believe. Might be kind of hard to avoid. Let's go back to vertex here. Can raise this to, let's say, 40. Or these are 30 perhaps? No, these are 40 as well. Should help a little. And over here, can try 50-50. Same here. So yeah, it's a bit more rounded. It's a bit better. Here. Go back to none and go 50-50 again. So yeah, if you can't really get the weights to kind of work the way you want, you can also just move them. Yeah, wow, pretty much kind of solved. Over here, the front part of the tunic probably needs to be adjusted. Let's go more like 40. That looks better. Can even do the same thing here. Maybe just add like 10% to the pelvis. Yeah, I'm just gonna save it, and I can probably just show how to insert into the game in another video. I think for the next video I'm just gonna create a low poly version of the model for the strategy map. So right now it's like 15K, and I can probably lower, I need to lower it to about 5K. and I will show you how to do it. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you on the next video.